factor ladies and dogfight dudes. Polish up your glass cockpit. Knock about your kneeboard. And look, I'm not saying he's a bad pilot, but he is a total bitch.
It's time to talk to me.
Nice. Welcome back to the pod. I am Omen Thomas Sade.
And I am Nick McGill. Omen, you did a little lag time there. It wasn't the video, wasn't the audio. It was you. You physically lagged.
I was out of RAM. Together we are the Feckless Momes.
And this, my little bags of peanuts, is Talk Tull to me.
A parallel access handshake in the pitted tube of prog rock, in which Overshoot Omen and Narrow Body Nick will, despite having no qualifications whatsoever, attempt to guide toward the soft landing field each and every touch-and-go track that roll pitch rock band Jethro Tull have ever launched into the wind shear of the world. We will track the ground speed of Jerry Contrail Conway, find the secret Morse code message in the guitar riffs of Martin Magnetic North Bar, and say a pilot's prayer as we drop the Dave Pegg payload from 35,000 feet. And if we can fine-tune our aeroacoustic instruments and benefit from the Bernoulli principle, we may just get a pair of plastic wings pinned on us by the cable-lacing captain, the heat-shielded Homo eroticus, the geosynchronous gardener, the free-fall flautist, in Anticyclone Anderson.
Nice.
That's rough. There got some turbulence there in that intro, but everybody made it through alive.
What's the Bernoulli principle? Isn't that where water spins in one way in the hemisphere and then the other in the other hemisphere?
That's a great question, Nick. I'm so glad that you're asking me this right now.
I've also heard it referred to as the Bernoulli effect.
The Bernoulli principle is...
I learned that in Bill Nye.
If the fluid flows horizontally so that no change in gravitational potential energy occurs, then a decrease in fluid pressure is associated with an increase in fluid velocity. Oh.
Not at all what I said, but cool. Very cool.
It's a concept in fluid dynamics that relates pressure, speed, and height.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nick, welcome back.
Omen, here we are.
Here we are, talking Tull, as it turns out.
Yep. Ironically.
And if you couldn't have guessed from the introduction, what is the song about which we are talking Tull this very day?
We are talking disc 2 of Nightcap, track number 12. It is No Step.
No Step.
No Step, girl.
Well, let's remove the safety cones from around our ears and have a listen.
I'll guide you in.
Nick McGill.
Omen, Thomas Sade, is that your first time hearing No Step?
Yes, it is.
Thoughts, prayers.
I am glad that I had my seatbelt fastened in my tray table in the upright position while listening to that song because it was a little turbulent.
Not quite a banger like we've heard in the last couple, but there's substance there.
There certainly is. I think it was a slower tempo than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And sometimes that gave it to me a sound that came off as a little bit ponderous, I guess.
It's very plodding. It is.
But as you say, within that, there's plenty going on. Now, this is not your first time hearing the song.
Correct.
I actually have a recollection of when we were flying, and you were sitting in the window seat, and we were above the wing, and as we were sat down,
right.
You pointed out the window and you said, "Hey, no step. And I was like, yeah. I didn't know what you were talking about. I was like, yeah, it's on every plane.
Yeah, it says it. Don't step there.
Don't step there. But you were referencing this song.
Yes.
And now I know.
Now it's meta. It's in the past meta.
Yep.
Past tense, yeah.
It has metamorphosized into the present.
I like it.
So, just before we talk about the music and the lyrics, let's talk about flying, because this song is.
Do we have to?
Let's not give it away, but this song is about flying.
Correct.
You did during our trip probably 3 to 4 times as much flying as you'd ever done before. Is that accurate?
I'd flown from Connecticut to Vegas, which was only like a couple of hours. So
4 or 5 hour flight, maybe.
Yeah. So just going from New York to London was 3 to 4 times the length. 2 to 3 times, rather.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
And now that you are an experienced jet setter, what were your favorite parts and least favorite parts of flying?
Is it okay if I don't have a favorite part?
That's fine.
I'm hard pressed to think of a favorite part of flying.
Okay. What were your top 3 least favorite parts of flying?
It was just overall exhausting, just start to finish. There's like no downtime when you're traveling. I mean, even if you're on a layover or something, there's always tents. We spent, I think, 4 hours in Gatwick before we went back to New York.
Yeah.
And the whole time it was just like it's swarming with people. You're constantly like keeping an eye on your bag, and you're constantly like, oh, when's the gate going to be announced? And then you got to scarper that way. And
yeah.
It's not an easy process.
Where do I put my suitcase when I pee?
Exactly.
How do I clean pee off of my suitcase?
Yeah. It certainly helped to have the buddy system, I can't imagine doing it solo. It would be excruciating.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. There are definitely benefits to having a travel partner.
Yeah. That is issues 1 and 2 right there. And 3 is just being inside of a plane.
Yeah. So I'm excited in the second section of this podcast to talk a little bit more about the content. But one of the things that occurs to me is that if you are used to driving, then flying represents giving up a large degree of autonomy.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
You are at the whim of someone else every single step of the way.
It's great for people who like to be subs in bondage.
Not my thing.
I love the process of being degraded on an airplane.
I don't need to be a sub in bondage. I just go on flights.
They say, do you want a drink? And I signal to them, is it okay if I take the ball gag out to answer you?
There's a safe word for when you ask for a drink.
Yeah. Let's talk about the music.
Yes.
The thing that stood out to me the most about this song, the most unusual aspect of it, is right in the first couple of seconds. We have the drum beat and a little bit of bass coming in, but behind that, we have this unusual rhythmic sound, and I was like, it's walking? It's shoes?
Yeah, are you talking about the first, 5 seconds of that,
Yes. Yes, we have tick, 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 and then behind that we have clack, clack, clack.
Yes.
I first interpreted it as hard shoes on like a wooden floor or cement. And then as I was writing, and then it comes back again at around 2:11.
No step.
I was writing down, again, it's that stepping sound. Oh, no step.
Yeah.
It's the steps that aren't permitted.
They had to go somewhere.
Don't step on this part of the plane, but feel free to step all over the song.
Step in the song. Yeah.
But it's a fascinating detail. I don't think we've ever heard that before.
Yeah. My mind immediately goes to War Child and those kind of atmospheric scenes, but something like this where it's just a specific distinct sound that's kind of peppered into a track like this. I'm not really recalling anything else that's this similar.
Do you think that Ian was just pacing in the studio and accidentally had the mic recording and then was like, we'll use it? No sound goes to waste in my studio.
No wasted tape in Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge.
Is this one? Yeah, this one is Maison Rouge. Film.
That'd be a very different situation.
Yes, Ian can.
He can, and he does. Great bass work, as usual, from Mr. Pegg.
Yes, very funky.
It is soulful. Mm-hmm. It is filled. It is ready to burst at any moment. It's fully fueled.
It also sticks with this kind of trudging. So it's slow and it's steady, but it's also there as meaty bits here and there.
Is what you're describing as the trudgingness of the song, the what I would describe as the pulled back tempo and ponderousness?
Yeah.
Is that perhaps an intentional effect which we are given in relation to the process of traveling itself, where it is that kind of endless stretches of time when you have nothing to do but just sit there with your thoughts?
I think that's perfect for the lyrics, for the content of the lyrics. I think that's perfect. Yeah.
And, having traveled yourself now both by train and by plane, there's no frickin' comparison.
To that type of travel?
Yeah, traveling by train is infinitely nicer.
Yes, agreed, yes. Well, I mean, traveling by Caledonian Sleeper is infinitely nicer. Traveling by Amtrak, maybe not. Well, there's still a lot more room on an Amtrak.
That's true. That's true. Hour for hour, I'll take a train any day.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. As soon as they do that transatlantic train system, I'm ready to go.
Yes. Speaking of music, while we have 4 performers, we have 6 or 7 different types of tracks, including the flute, which is spattered in what seems to be a little bit of a haphazard manner.
No step. No step.
Perhaps the flute is representing the bugs that splatter on the front windshield of the airplane.
It's possible. I wouldn't call it subdued, but it's definitely there as accent more than anything. It's not substance.
Agreed. And there's a liberal helping of it.
Yeah.
Well, we also have quite a lot of synth. And since Mr. PJV is not on this track, it stands to reason that it is one Ian Anderson playing and perhaps programming the synth.
Yeah, I think that there's a good degree of programming and tweedling. PJV probably refused to be on this song because it would be so boring to play on. He can't play under a certain number of beats per minute. It's in his contract.
He tried to play this song, but he fell asleep.
Yeah.
And Ian was like, oh, I'll have to do it myself.
And in his sleep, played it faster.
Right.
But yeah, there's a good deal of synth in here, and it's a variety of sounds of synth too. It's not just like I'm playing an organ sound, There's a little tweedle, there's a little kind of an ambient-y synth sound, a straight up synth. It's a good variety here. It's fun.
Around the 1 minute mark, that's very approximate, I wrote down that the synth sounds a little bit like, the setting on the synth sounds a little bit like the setting that they use in The Doors, where it has that sort of organ-y feel, but reproduced by a synth. I guess in The Doors it would have just been a Hammond organ, but the synth setting is that tone.
Yeah.
We also have some fun synth glissandos at various points where Ian goes or and that may be something that's programmable.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Because it's so regimented in the way that it's played. It sounds a little bit maybe beyond what I think we assume Ian's keyboard skills are.
Right. And he seemed, and I guess this is really mostly speculation anyway so far, but he did seem fond of programming, of playing with those preset things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he's fond of programming in general. Do you remember when there was an interview where he was like, somebody asked him if he would do more film, and he was like, I would do it if I could both act and control the camera at the exact same time.
Yes. Was it talking about because the War Child movie never got made or something along those lines? It must have been.
I feel like it was around that era.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a little bit later. Maybe it was on the heels of one of the music videos.
Oh, yes.
And this is leading, again, a little bit, I don't know why I'm having such a difficult time not talking about the themes of this song, but I get the impression that Ian is someone who likes control, likes to have control over his surroundings. And so again, flying is a situation where you do not have control.
Yeah.
And in fact, most of the things that you're being told are, don't do this, you have to do this, you have to stop doing this.
Yeah.
Don't step on the wing.
God, the number of times they told me not to step on the wing.
Get back in, off the wing.
Close your window.
Close the window.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame anybody for not wanting to fly, let alone someone like Ian, who has spent so much of his time traveling.
Oh my gosh.
Of the last 60 years traveling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Don't blame him. We get some layered voice in here.
Yes.
We get, let's see, at the no steps are Ian harmonizing with Ian, I believe.
Okay, yep.
No step.
But at the someone bought me a ticket, we've got that 3 times. Pretty sure that's Peggy in the background for those ones.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I had a harmony written down around 45 seconds in.
Okay.
There were nervous mothers with children crying in the back.
That sounded like Ian's classic, like, I'm going to sing it a little bit lower this time.
Yeah. But it sounds nice.
It does. Yeah, I don't mind it. It adds a little more dimension to the song. You need these layers and this texture if you're going to be plodding along like that. Otherwise, the song is going to get really boring really quickly.
Yes.
I still think the song is boring, but there's texture to get you through it.
I wouldn't go so far as to call it boring. I would say it is more contemplative
Yeah,
than Commons Brawl or Man of Principle.
right. Contemplative can also be boring. It's not one or the other.
Every time I've ever contemplated anything, I've been bored silly.
I've fallen asleep.
I refuse to contemplate.
4-4. It was easy enough to count 4-4 for me.
Wow. Yep, sure.
Please tell me it's not like 7-3. Of the one time I'm ever like super confident of timing, pretty sure it's 4-4.
I think you have it nailed.
Nice. Gold star.
Gold star. You're a Gold Star Tull fan. You've never listened to anything except Jethro Tull.
That's right.
When the radio comes on, you, like Odysseus, jam your ears full of wax, tie yourself to the mainmast.
No,
I know, I'm getting it wrong.
Okay.
He had all of his sailors plug their ears. He tied himself to the mainmast so he could hear the song
right.
of the siren.
I still don't understand why.
Why what?
Why he needed to hear the song.
Oh, because he's a special boy and he wanted to game the system.
He's
he's
a special guy, yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's RIP to them, but I'm different. He was like, I want to be the only person to ever survive hearing the siren song.
He was tied there so he could navigate, right? He could still
he was tied there so that he wouldn't jump overboard.
Well, yeah, but wasn't one of the parts of that he could still steer the ship? Am I making that up?
I think he gave that job to somebody else.
Yeah, he's more important. He's a special boy.
He's a special boy.
Yeah, okay.
We covered that. See the special boy clause.
That's right. He signed that. Is that the name of your boy band, the Special Boy Clause? Your K-pop group?
Yes. Yes.
You're only halfway there.
Ooh. Welcome back to the halfway point. This is your in-flight entertainment. You have the ability to choose from any of the following things. Nick, what is on our entertainment list?
We have some emails and some, not addenda per se, but some added notes, I guess.
You know what? I'll take some of each. I'm hungry. I didn't have time to eat in the airport.
Gotcha. We'll start light. We'll start with an amuse-bouche
Yeah.
of correspondences from Jupson here.
Okay. Jupson,
Good old Jupson.
wheel the trolley in.
In Discord, Jupson writes in response to something we talked about in Crew Nights.
Ooh, crew nights.
So there's a lyric in Crew Nights. Crew Nights, no bar fights or readers' wives.
Readers' wives. Yeah, we were a bit stumped on that.
We were. Jupson drops in a little tidbit. Monthly magazine readers were responsible in the early 1970s for creating a feature that has been adopted in magazines worldwide. Readers' wives. Central to this theme was the monthly Readers' Wives striptease section, which shows a set of photos of a supposed wife or girlfriend of a reader being photographed by Fiesta magazine, undressing, often but not always, out of everyday clothing to full nudity.
Wow.
So very common in naughty magazines. And Jupson says that they were very surprised that you were unfamiliar with that.
Well, I appreciate that.
So they posit, is it potentially a soiree with wives of fans?
I think it's the opposite. I think that it's because there's a party with actual live girls,
Yeah.
they don't need their filthy magazines.
They don't need a nudie magazine. Yeah.
They don't need a nudie magazine because they've got the real thing.
Yeah. No readers'
wives. Fascinating. That's
Yeah.
really, really interesting. Thank you, Jupson.
Yes.
And I will familiarize myself with those magazines so that lapse in my encyclopedic knowledge of naughtiness will not happen again.
I will not be embarrassed again. Jupson also writes in about the curse.
Yeah.
For the curse, we have the line, felt a searching hand to frisk her along the length of her waterline, a nautical turn of phrase. Also, however, nicely filled out, fully laden. Isn't fully laden also a nautical term?
Well, it is. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it could refer to any mode of transport, but it would make sense that it would have originated. Well, I guess a wagon could be fully laden.
I suppose, yeah.
But yeah, that's a potential nautical connection.
Yeah.
Always looking for a nautical connection.
You love a good nautical connection.
I love just standing by the docks and, seeing what comes my way.
Seaweed, flying
Syphilis.
fish, syphilis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jupson, for those. Always greatly appreciated. Those were both in our Discord. If you want to join in on that chat, please feel free to join the Patreon.
Yes.
Great resource there of Tull Skulls. And of course, obviously, you get additional content as well.
And it's just a great time.
It's just a good old time. It really is.
Nick, what else do we have to entertain our mouths this in-flight moment?
Where you're going, oh, stop smoking. That's the smoking
Oh, I'm
sign.
so sorry. That was me.
Yeah. We're going to wrap it up with an email from Georgie K. Georgie K writes back in.
Yes.
Hi, Nick and Omen. Aussie George again. For the past year or so, I've been really enjoying your TTTM podcasts while walking my old dog, Pandora, or Panda, as we affectionately know her,
Oh.
around the Banyule Flats. It's a nice area around my home with a pleasant walking track. We even see some kangaroos, which makes the walk really enjoyable. There is an area known as the Banyule Cattle Yards along the way. It's like a small outdoor museum which boasts some old decommissioned farming equipment. I must have made this walk hundreds of times and never once did I stop to think what each old rusty item was until today at around 8:30 a.m. I was listening to the titular track episode of Heavy Horses, where quite literally only meters from the Banyule Cattle Yards, Nick mentions that Jethro Tull, the agriculturalist and band's namesake, known for pioneering the seed drill, also helped develop the horse plow.
Yes.
Now, I'm no expert, but I can assume with a high degree of confidence that the item directly in front of me when Nick made the horseplow comment was indeed, you guessed it, a horseplow.
Oh my gosh.
What are the chances? It stopped me in my tracks, and I thought to take some photos to show you. I've attached some photos. I'm throwing in the roos too, as I think they're adorable. The lone buck, male roo, is massive and really buffed. And then an hour after that, we get a follow-up. Hi, Momes. Slightly embarrassed. Perhaps I should have researched before sending you my previous email. The massive old farming device is actually a seed drill. And I will drop those photos into our Instagram.
Oh, that's great.
I'll do an Instagram post with those photos so everybody can see what Georgie K sees on his walk and some pictures of an actual seed drill. I honestly never thought about it before, but I've never seen what a seed drill looks like. Some interesting stuff.
Thank you, Georgie K. It's great to see the seed drill. And yeah, you never want to use a seed drill for plowing horses. That is not recommended.
Kangaroos, yes. Kangaroos, yes.
And lovely kangaroo. Wow, he is really buff, isn't he?
Yeah, they are beefcakes.
Muscular. Well, thank you, Georgie K. I'm glad that you're listening, and thank you for writing in. It's very interesting to hear the convergence of the Tulls during your walk.
Yeah, that's right. It's an interesting kismet moment, I guess.
Kismet, yes, yes, yes. Great musical.
Is it?
Take my hand, I'm a stranger in paradise, all lost in a wonderland. Yeah, it's a musical.
I asked if it was a musical. I didn't ask if it had
Me to
any
sing
music.
my favorite song from it?
I didn't request.
I get confused over those things.
Yeah, clearly.
Welcome back, Nick. We are here. We have landed. And it is now time to finally talk about the content of this song.
Let's talk No Step. Obviously, planes.
Planes! I looked out of my window, saw stenciled black, no step, no step.
I looked out of my window, saw a stencil black. No step. No step.
So, Nick, as you so recently have observed, wings of airplanes up to this day have black stenciled letters on them that say no step. I don't know why they say don't step here.
Is it literally like that one spot? It's like the fontanelle. It's like the spot on a baby's head where it's the soft spot of the wing. Every other spot you can walk on.
I actually do think that that's exactly it, because if you look at the emergency deplaning videos and things, you are supposed to get out on the wing, and that's how you get off the plane in an emergency. But I think there's a certain part of it, maybe one of the flaps, that's weaker.
There we go. Solved it.
The first time you see that, it is disconcerting, because you're like, why would who's that for?
Is this wing so sensitive that a 150-pound man cannot step on this? And then we're going to take off with these things?
Exactly, exactly. What if a cloud steps there?
It's a heavy cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm no aeronaut. Full stop.
Done. End of sentence.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it gives you a moment of pause.
Yeah.
There were nervous mothers with children crying in the back. No step, no step.
There were nervous mothers with children crying in the back. No step. No step.
Already, this is autobiographical. This is Ian in first person. To me, this feels perfectly like this is my experience.
Yes.
Because I've been doing this forever.
Yeah, or maybe it was one particular moment that stood out.
It's possible, yeah.
You know, just with those first two lines, he's really setting up an environment of tension and anxiety. Nervous mothers, children crying in the back. Nothing worse than being on a plane with crying children, especially before the advent of noise-canceling headphones.
Yeah, we had... Of all of our trips, I think we only had a crying baby for like maybe an hour on one of them.
But because of the noise-canceling headphones, it wasn't so much of an issue.
I also put it in the toilet. Flushed it away.
Yeah. I was heavily on downers, so it didn't really bother me.
That's just called depression, Omen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was heavily a downer. I was heavily down.
Yes.
They actually had to move me to a different part of the plane because the weight of my depression was throwing off the balance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Felt like an achievement. Nice to be recognized. Someone bought me my ticket. Now I'm on the wing. Hope my angels are watching me. Do I hear them sing? No steps, no step.
Someone bought me my ticket, now I'm on the wing. Hope my angels are watching me. Do I hear them sing? No step. No step.
Here's something interesting. Perhaps I'm reading too much into this, but that is literally our job. Someone bought me my ticket, now I'm on the wing. Is that a complaint? Is that like, oh, I wish I had bought my ticket like I always do. The one time I entrusted the buying of the ticket to someone else, they put me on the goddamn wing.
Interesting. That's not how I interpreted it, but that's interesting.
And it is true that, I mean, some people say that the wing is actually the safest place of the seats along the wing are the safest place to fly. Mm-hmm. But also that's where the engines are located. And so it can be a more uncomfortable flight because it's more vibrations and it's louder.
Yeah. I paid extra for more vibrations.
You got the vibrating seat upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was messy, but it was worth it.
Worth it. Yeah. See, no, I interpret that as I kind of don't have control.
Yes.
Because I've been touring for so long, I just go where they send me.
Ooh.
And now I'm on the wing just means now I'm flying.
Oh, I'm on the wing like a bird on the wing.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's so fascinating how there are different interpretations available.
Whether intended or not, I think that of all the times we've said like, well, it could be this or it could be this, maybe it's both. Meh. You know, we make it stretch. This one, to me, feels the most closely that it could be either one of those. I do like the idea of both of those.
And the overlap is a loss of control.
Ultimately, yes, yeah.
The singer is not in control. So he has to turn to his angels. Hope my angels are watching me. Do I hear them sing? No, it's the alarm system going bow, bow, which you never know what it means and could cause anxiety.
Or it's just the loudness of the engines themselves.
Do I hear them sing? No, that's the baby crying.
Yes, that's what that is.
There's no back door in an airplane, so no backdoor angels.
Bummer.
Actually, there are sometimes back doors.
Don't tell the angels.
Don't tell the angels. Those afterburners cut in and kicked us high.
Those afterburners cut in and kicked us high.
Just an observation
It is a literal description
of what happened.
how an airplane works. But it's interesting. The no step almost is becoming a mantra in this song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But instead of a comforting mantra, it's like an anxious mantra, right?
Yeah, I think it's the one constant that he can hold on to during this trip. Everything else, I'm out of control, baby's crying, my eyes are burning in the sunlight.
Right?
But that's there. I can focus on that.
That weird no step sign is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can contemplate that for the next 12 hours.
Yeah. It's almost like a Zen koan.
A little bit, yeah.
When flying in an airplane, don't step on the wing.
No step. No step.
No step. The thin air shimmered, the sun cut through and burned my eye.
The thin air shimmered, the sun cut through and burned my eye.
Well, we've experienced that recently. You know, when you're up above the cloud cover, the sun is so strong.
Yeah. Really cool. It's really cool to experience, like if it's at the right angle.
Yeah. I really liked on that one flight we were on where they had the dimmable window. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was so cool. Rather than a shade that physically lowered, it was just like, oh, set dimness on the window to X.
And this 8-inch thick window just goes dark. It's very strange.
Once you go dark,
You have to park.
you're fit for a shark.
Yes.
Get on the ark. You've made your mark. Is that a quark? And then we have a repeat of someone bought me my ticket, now I'm on the wing, hope my angels are watching me, do I hear them sing? No step, no step, no step, no step.
Yep.
And then this is a little bit of the typical Ian rupture, linguistically, stylistically, in the format of the song. We've gotten the pattern, here's the observation, here's the no step, here's the observation, here's the lack of control. And then he rejects the reality that he's in. He says, rather than being here, give me a jet stream schooner or a gray lag goose. No step, no step.
Give me a jet stream schooner or a crew-length goose. No step. No step.
Okay, a jet stream schooner. A schooner is a boat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that he's saying, I'd rather be on a boat, which takes 3 weeks to cross the Atlantic, than a plane.
Right, yeah.
A gray lag goose, I thought maybe was a reference to some sort of mode of transport. It's literally a goose. It's a species of waterfowl.
He would prefer to ride atop the back of a goose.
He would.
We'll make him a little harness, strap himself in.
They're all over Europe. They're all over the Americas. They're herbaceous. They're herbivorous. Herbivores.
There you go. I do want to tell you, though, just fair warning, you also cannot step on the wing of a goose.
Both not recommended.
Yes.
Oh, homosexual pairs, 14 to 20%, are common.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a new show coming out called Queer Planet, which covers like all sorts of like bisexual and homosexual and polyamorous animal couples.
Yeah, have you seen that show Goose Sluts?
No,
It's great.
I haven't paid extra for that.
It's
I'm just going to wait till it comes out on DVD.
yeah, I'll send you a copy.
Oh, thanks. Nice.
Goose Sluts. Geese Gone Wild.
GOOSLUTS, right?
Yeah, one word.
One word. Okay.
With an umlaut.
So that would be GU umlaut.
Goose Sluts.
Gooselets.
That's actually the new Tull album. Rockfleet Goose Sluts. My God. Okay, so he would rather be on a boat, or perhaps he would rather be a goose.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yeah.
Which has the freedom to decide where it flies.
Yeah.
No step, no step. I'm a clear air jockey when they turn me loose.
I'm a clear air jockey when they turn me loose.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Clear air to me is either like clean, like non-pollutant, or clear air as in like, I'm out of here. I'm out of the air.
Or is he talking about being a radio jockey who doesn't swear? Oh! Or is he saying that he will, like a horse jockey, ride the clear air? Let me out of the plane so I can just ride the wind, like it's a horse.
Clear air jockey. An air jockey.
An air jockey.
Yeah.
A clear air jockey. He's not riding any of those polluted clouds.
No.
He's riding the spirit of the wind itself. He's painting with every color of the wind.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
He's riding in a cloud that has a little smile on it and throwing spiny shells out at Mario. He's Lakitu.
Yes. He's Lakitu. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's interesting, but this is why I do feel like it's a rupture from the song, because it's like, I'm tense, I'm in this tense reality,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my consciousness will now take a holiday. Whee! I'm flying in the clouds. Oh, look, a goose.
Yeah. Just focusing on no step was not enough. His mind has wandered at this point.
Or it was enough to take him into a transcendental state.
Oh, sure. Right.
It was the repeated chant that worked.
Yeah. The mantra led him there.
They've asked me to stop chanting on the airplanes. They don't like that.
Not after
Post 9/11, everything's different.
God damn you. Yeah.
Oh, and then the final verse, someone bought me my ticket to the captain's seat. Will the shakes soon leave me? Will I find my feet? No step, no step, no step, no step, no step.
Someone bought me my ticket to the captain's seat. Will the shakes soon leave me? Will I find my feet? No step.
An interesting pivot right here at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it sticks with the clear air jockey, his being the captain now in the captain's seat.
So does he kind of arrive in his fantasy? Wake up, Mr. Anderson. You have to pilot the plane. Oh, God.
Will the shakes soon leave me? Will I find my feet? Is that I'm flying a plane for the first time? Or is that I'm recovering from being on a flight?
That's the great thing. It works so well either way.
Yeah.
It could be the unpleasant reality of flying turned into the pleasant fantasy of being a goose, and then turned into the nightmare of being a pilot suddenly who doesn't know how to fly a plane.
Yeah.
But also I wonder if there's something a little bit more deeper than that of, will the fear of flying leave me? Will I find my sea legs, but for air? Will I find my air legs? Will I find my foghorn leghorn?
I say, will the shakes leave me soon? Yeah, I didn't take it as like a fear of flying at this point because it feels like he's so expert at it. You know, he's so inundated with it that it's banal almost.
But I feel like that's our historical interpretation, given that we know who the writer is.
Yeah.
But taken as a standalone, this could be his first flight ever.
That's true. That's super valid. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be autobiographical. Yeah.
And there's something interesting with the juxtaposition of, will I find my feet? No step, no step, no step, no step.
Yeah.
That sense of like, I'm just trying to get a sense of what's going on and get comfortable, get my legs under me.
Right.
And the one thing I'm being told is, no, you can't take any steps.
Right. So to find your feet is to get yourself situated, to be comfortable in your surroundings and be prepared and ready to do whatever it is that you need to do.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
And the shakes is because he couldn't drink for 12 hours.
That's right. That's right. It's the old DT.
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I always prefer my pilots to have a nice gin and tonic right before we fly.
Nice stiff drink to get you nice and relaxed.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick, anything else to say about No Step? It's a curious little number, isn't it?
It is. It is. I do really like the idea of the mantra, of that solid repetition of having that one thing that you can control. And I just noticed where we have that transition from, I hope my angels are watching me, I'm just talking about what's around me, into turn me into a goose. We have no step, 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 no.
No step. No step. No step. No step. No step. No step. No step.
He doesn't finish the sentence. He does no and then goes in to give me a jet stream schooner. That does indicate more of a transition there. Like now we're in our dream sequence.
That rejection of the reality.
Yeah.
Also, perhaps we could say that there's a connection with, do I hear them sing? No step, no step.
He doesn't hear his angels sing, so he's doing what he can to take matters into his own hands, which isn't a lot when you're on an airplane.
No, and I think maybe when I was very young, I was nervous about flying, and so I would just study the emergency manual.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd be really prepared if something happens.
Yeah.
Which is not a good way to get rid of your anxiety.
Yeah.
But it does give you the illusion that you have control over something.
I'm trying to think of what you would have control over on an airplane. I mean, going to the bathroom.
Sometimes, but if the please sit down and fasten your seatbelt sign is on,
right,
you have less control over that.
Beef or chicken?
Ugh.
Air quotes around both of those terms.
Yes, yes. You have control over your thoughts, if you have control over your thoughts.
That's right. And that's it.
And most people don't.
No, I let somebody else control mine.
Somebody else got me a ticket to my thoughts, and now I'm on the frickin' wing.
That's the last time I trust them.
Honk! Oh, that's better.
No step. No step.
Nick, what is it that we have the pleasure of stepping over to and talking about next week? Oh, I have a guess. I bet it's a Jethro Tull song.
It is Who Told You.
Oh my gosh.
It's the next one on the actual album itself. It's track 13. It's Drive on the Young Side of Life.
Ooh, an interesting title and a good mantra.
Yeah. Too old to rock and roll, Drive on the Young Side of Life.
That's right. And then after that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more tracks off of Nightcap.
That's right. So 5 all told from this point. Yep. 5 all day, as they say in the restaurant industry.
What does that mean, all day? What's the all day mean?
All day, that's it. Once they're gone, they're gone. I'm not making any more. I can't make any more. I've got 5 all day. As soon as those lasagnas are gone, they take them off the menu.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You seem kind of upset about it.
Not what I thought it meant.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I thought it kind of meant like with everything. Until next week, I am kicked high by Afterburners. I'm Omen Thomas Sade.
somebody bought me a ticket and now I'm in a podcast. I am Nick McGill.
We are a couple of gray-lag geese, the Feckless Momes.
And look out your window. You'll see it stenciled in black. It's Talk Tull to Me.
That's what should be stenciled on the outside of planes.
Talk Tull to Me.
Yeah, no talking Tull to me. I'm just a barbaric Scottish woman with no sense of morals. Take my hand. I must. Stranger in paradise. Ah, lost in a wonderland. A stranger in paradise. And if I stand starry-eyed, that's the danger in paradise, for mortals stand beside an angel like you. I saw your face, and I ascended out of the commonplace into the rare somewhere in space. As hang suspended, hoping to know there's a chance that you care. Won't you answer the feckless moms, which produce Talk Tull to Me, which, as you know, is a proud member of the Feckless Moms Audio Network.